Hey guys, welcome back to the Blue Podcast. As usual, I'm joined by Ben. How are you doing today, mate?
Good, thanks.
And as you can see, familiar face back, Mackers. He's back from America. How are you doing, mate?
I'm doing great, mate. Absolutely great. Can't wait to get back on the podcasts and keep things going until I go away again for 2 months. So that's good.
That's what we like to hear. We have missed you, Ben and I. Ben and I will admit we have missed you a little bit on the show,
I'm glad
but
to hear it.
now you're back, and we've got a new show to talk about today. So She-Hulk came out yesterday. We tried to record a video yesterday, but a combination of technical difficulties and one of the guests on the show falling asleep. We won't say who's who, but it's pretty obvious if you work it out.
It's Tom.
Um,
Tom is just—he's just not reliable.
he's not, is it? Mackers is just the worst. He fell asleep and his computer had
Yeah,
technical difficulties. Yeah,
ridiculous.
unbelievable. But yeah, I think we'll dive straight into today's video with just your guys' first thoughts on the show. Obviously, there was a lot of promo for this, so we kind of know there's going to be a show based around cameos and sort of like more of a comedic side to it. Mackers, since you're back, I think we'll go with you first. You enjoy it? Anything that stood out to you?
I definitely enjoyed it. I said to Ben yesterday, like, was it you? I can't remember.
Man.
I obviously have to come into these shows often without kind of expecting a masterpiece of work. It's just for enjoyment, and it certainly was just enjoyable. I liked I guess with also spoilers. The Hulk fight between the two of them that was interesting, and I was very surprised that they went straight in with the fourth wall break. I know obviously that She-Hulk is pretty much the main only other Marvel character that breaks the fourth wall other than Deadpool. So it's interesting that they went straight away with that, which I did enjoy. Very accurate to the comments and to comics, and I feel rusty right now.
Just get your words out correctly, yeah.
It was very good.
Yeah, good. I agree with what you're saying about the them diving straight in. I thought it was a nice change of pace. I think we've seen with shows like Moon Knight and WandaVision that they really like took their time to get going. I think Falcon and Soldier, their two main characters, didn't even see each other in the first episode. So I think I speak for all of us when we say we definitely appreciated them just getting straight into it. And like you say, Jennifer Walters and Deadpool are the only two characters that break the fourth wall, and so they did a good job in sticking to the comics, I think, on that one. Now, Ben, you're definitely the more cynical side of the Blue Podcast when it comes to these Marvel TV shows. We've seen that with Miss Marvel.
What happened with that?
that was put to one side after Ben had fairly mixed feelings about the.
I mean, I'll probably say the same thing now, but yeah, carry on, sorry.
No, go for it, mate. This is your time. I want to hear your thoughts.
I mean, like similar to what Tom was saying. Actually, I think Tom's kind of the middle in between me and you. Tom's the
realist, and you're the pessimist.
Well, I mean, I'd like to think I'm the realist here. Thank you very much. No. No, I don't know. I mean, to be fair, I mean, it's just. I mean, not even who's a realist, who's an idealist, whatever. I think Tom just is just in the middle of what our opinions basically. Well, not even that far apart. But anyway, yeah, I think yeah, like I thought it was just average again. Like it's just like Tom was saying, you're not really supposed to. You can't really expect a masterpiece, and they're not supposed to be a masterpiece, and they're not a masterpiece. But like I say, I thought it was just average. I thought it was all right. Like I enjoyed bits of I enjoyed it, but it wasn't like it didn't like blow me away or anything. But it's not supposed to. But yeah, no, like you say, some fun bits. There's some bits that like calling back to like sort of the like Tony Stark and stuff like that. That was nice. Because that, I mean, in my opinion, that was when it was obviously its strongest. And I think that would probably be, even if you're sort of really into comics and love the MCU and stuff, even you, Tom, would probably admit that Phase 4 has not been as strong as previous.
Mm,
That is the general census. I'm
I
not
agree. The general census,
like you, but it's the general census, isn't it? So, but you know, that was obviously nice. But yeah, it's it's just that like say for with the whole of like the phase 4 stuff, it's just been average. Like it's not been terrible, it's not been amazing. It's just been there. It's just like that. But that like I think it also comes from because it's a little bit. It's obviously easier for you to be into it because you are already into comics. I'm not, so I'm sort of like if the content quality isn't amazing or like my interest dips, which is basically what's happening here. But I mean, like I said, I still enjoyed this probably more than other things that have come out recently. But it's still just
Miss Marvel.
it's still just it's still just average. Like it's just you know, that's basically it. Like
Yeah.
I
Do you know
thought
what, Ben?
the
No, go on, Tom.
I thought the CGI
I was about to say that.
wasn't that bad, and
Oh
also
no, I wasn't going to say that.
you weren't. I thought it was bad.
I was going to say that there was like a couple of moments in particular where there was just far too much of it. Not necessarily that it was poorly done, but some of the training scenes where they're meditating and stuff like that, and I was just looking at two Hulks for a very long time. It really drew me out of it at points, actually. I'm more inclined to agree with Ben on this first episode. But go on, Mackers, you obviously got a different opinion of that.
Sorry, yeah, carry on. Sorry.
No, the only reason I say the CGI wasn't too bad is because I actually watched, Corridor Crew. Do you know Corridor Crew? They are a YouTube group who are massive. Check them out afterwards. I really enjoy watching them. But they did a breakdown of the trailer, the CGI of the trailer, and the issue is it's kind of the same thing with how Phase 4 isn't perceived as well. Is because of what's happened before, and because we're like, for example, Bruce Banner's Hulk, that has been worked on since 2012. That's why that Hulk's so good in terms of visually. Like the face works, and also they also explain that it's actually very difficult to get the CGI right on a woman because their skin is so much smoother. For example, if we did Ben, he's got the stubbly beard.
Yeah.
He's got it's a lot easier to do. Whereas for Tom, who's not got a beard, and me, I guess.
I was going to say, you can't single me out as having a feminine face and then not include yourself.
It would be harder to do because we have smoother face. So that's why the CGI, especially in the trailer, was really badly seen, even though actually it is accurate. It's just because it's quite close to human. The issue with CGI is when it's close to human. Like that's when CGI can look bad. That's why when CGI of creatures tends to look a lot better because obviously we can take ourselves away from it because they aren't human.
I mean, it makes sense, but you still would think it has been 10 years since they've been doing a Hulk animation, so they would be able to use the knowledge from that to make this one better. But
and given it's massively funded and she's literally the star of a Marvel TV show.
Yeah. What I would say though is that I mean, obviously it's not great, but like compared to previous, but I wouldn't. For me, I didn't really notice it myself. But like I say, I'm not saying that it's good because it's not amazing, but it's not terrible either. It's basically that what Marvel is at the moment. Like, well, in my opinion, anyway. Like what I've said on previous shows, like it's safe for the CG. It's not amazing, but it's not terrible. It's just, just kind of like it's kind of whatever, you know. But yeah, like I said, I didn't really notice it myself, even though, like I say, the show as a whole, it's kind of just average. But
yeah, fair enough. Well, looking on a more positive note, Ben, were there actually any moments that you thought, do you know what, that is really good? I know you touched on the almost like the Science Bro stuff with Tony Stark and sort of like little throwbacks to that. But was that the standout moment for you, or was there anything that you just thought, do you know what, actually I really enjoyed that, or that means that the rest of the show's good? Go on.
I think mainly sort of probably because it was the best time for Marvel stuff. All the callbacks to that stuff was the best bit, which is probably a sad indictment for like the current Marvel stuff is the best bits is when they're calling back to those bits, if you know what I mean. Like, you know, when he's talking about Tony and he talks about Natasha, and you're like, oh yeah, that was good. And then you're like, oh, this is not that it's crap, but it's like this is not that it's crap, like I say, but you're like, yeah, this isn't as good. You know what I mean? Like you were getting reminded like those really good, like those quality films that they brought out with like those characters, you know. But yeah. I mean, there's like a whole other conversation to have about. I mean, obviously, like I say, you're a comic fan, so you'll like it more than I do. But there is a whole other conversation to have about sort of why the quality in the sort of common consensus of Phase 4 has dipped compared to previous. There's many different factors, it's a whole different conversation, you know, about sort of having to put out, you know, content and loads of content constantly, like that'll contribute to that. But there's, like I say, it's a whole other conversation.
Yeah, we could literally talk for hours about the reason why we think it's dipped.
The amount of content they put out now is crazy. Like if you like me and Tom were looking through, and it was just like bonkers. Like how it's ridiculous.
Even whilst I'm away, there is a very high chance there's a lot of gradient shows coming out.
Yeah. We were even looking the other day, and like the amount of just not necessarily just Marvel stuff, but stuff that this show would cover that's coming out in the near future is just crazy. So I'd say on a more positive note, yeah, there could potentially be a lack of quality because of the quantity of stuff that's coming out. But as fans of these shows, like I think it's a really good time to be a fan. I think we're being we're definitely being treated a lot.
Yeah. There's always that. Like it is like if you are a fan of comics, it's absolutely fantastic. But then if you're not really a fan of comics, and when you're putting out all these shows, and then there's inevitably, when you're putting out so many shows, there will be one or two shows that it just is a drop in quality. That's just inevitable when you're putting out that many shows. But like I say, this is a whole different conversation. Like you carry on with your thoughts about the show, because
I love how we've gone from speaking about She-Hulk to speaking about kind of everything Phase 4. But I guess that's because She-Hulk may be a bit of an antithesis of what has been happening.
Yeah.
Nicely put.
Not wrong.
Yeah, good word.
Yeah,
he's thought about that for the last 5 minutes, Ben.
Yeah. No, I think I think it's probably one of the reasons why they have sort of cut Phase 4 short, because like obviously if you've seen the announcements, Phase 4 was supposed to be a couple more films, wasn't it? But they've gone, right, cut it off at Black Panther, and we're going to start again. You know, well, not start again, but start sort of something new for Phase 5. Because a couple of the films in Phase 5 were supposed to be Phase 4, I think.
Yeah.
So like they've gone, right, yeah, we know it's not quite, you know, gone to plan, not quite worked out. So we're gonna stop it there, and we'll, you know, start properly here, like start again ish here, and then obviously they've announced like the 2 Avengers films and stuff to sort of, because they know there's been a slight sort of souring of like the you know, the vibes of it, and like the appetite for it, and the just not through comic fans, but just the wider public. Because like it wasn't just comic fans for like the previous stuff. It was like everyone was like, I'm watching that. But now it's kind of like, yeah. But there's
on that point though, is it not interesting that, for example, some of the biggest in terms of box office numbers movies that ever have come in Phase 4?
Yeah, I mean that you know, it is an interesting point, but I think that shows that comic fans, there a lot of people are comic fans.
I don't think you can necessarily pinpoint that all comic fans. I think
no, I'm not. I mean, I'm not saying, but if basically, all you have to do is go on Twitter to see, like, the hype is not like.
Because Twitter is the absolute centerpiece.
No. Right. I know you.
I know what you're saying, Ben, but I think if you're hitting over $1 billion
No,
at
no.
the box office,
Yeah,
then
no, I'm not saying. I'm not.
film's
No, no.
good.
You're missing. You're getting the wrong end of the stick. You're getting the wrong. Right. The point I'm making is, in general, if you went on social media as a whole, you don't have to be Twitter. Isn't the be all and end all. Absolutely. Social media as a whole, there has been a souring. I can't remember say it properly.
Souring.
Yeah, of the sort of opinions about Marvel, and that is undeniable. I don't think you can say that hasn't. That is undeniable that has happened. I'm not saying obviously they've made still making money, and that's why they're making all these shows and movies. But what I'm saying is a lot of people there was already a lot of comic book fans, but through those previous films being so good, they've got even more fans of the MCU. So it's not just comic fans, it's comic fans and MCU fans. It's like becoming its own thing. It's a franchise now, isn't it? So you have Star Wars fans, you have MCU fans, you have DC fans. It's like the franchise fans are keeping those numbers up.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
To be fair, you don't have many DC fans anymore, to be honest.
Yeah, but
just being one myself, which sucks.
But like I say, I'm not saying but this is the thing. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just not amazing like it used to be. But that's what Marvel got good at, sort of previously, just putting out average films, and they're good enough. They're good enough to get to people to go and watch it, and good enough to get people to come back. But they're not. It's never something that's gonna be. It's not going to be the best movie.
The issue is they're not going to be able to replicate Endgame or Infinity War for a while.
Yeah. But it's I mean, even those films are not the best of all time, but they were events.
Yeah.
But
should we get back to She-Hulk though?
But I don't know.
Well, maybe if we move away from the debate over the almost inevitable decline of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and back to She-Hulk. She-Hulk, the 30-minute comedy that just came out yesterday.
Yes.
Is there anything, Ben, positive to say about it? I'll let you. I'll let you think
said
about this
positive things about
it.
Mackers, right, we'll go to Mackers. Mackers, is there anything that you're looking forward to in this show? Ben, you take a couple of seconds, just have a think.
Have a think about more. Try and think of more stuff, maybe. I don't know. I quite like kind of lore shows anyway. I watched what's it called, Castles and stuff. I don't know if you guys ever know that. So I feel like I will enjoy this personally just because it's comics with kind of a copy show, and it's a bit of a comedy, and it's just there for a laugh. And I very happily will just sit and watch shows like that because if I have nothing else to do, which is kind of sad, but at the same time, it was good. I enjoyed the Hulk fight, which I mentioned earlier. My dog is trying to eat my feet right now. And I thought Bruce Banner looked good as always, and I thought Jennifer Walters' Hulk looked better than I thought it would, which is good. And there's a lot that they can do with the show. I don't actually really know the plan for the next 8 episodes.
Did you not see the trailers?
I know, but I don't remember them.
Okay, so for me personally, the standout was that Daredevil was going to be in it. I mean, I know you said about you did not watch the trailers, did you?
Oh, I've been in the middle of
America without Wi-Fi.
Weeks.
I forgot that America's this massive third world country where they don't have YouTube or the internet. My mistake.
Where Tom was, somehow it was there's just nothing.
I didn't know about the Daredevil thing, bro. I'm out of practice.
Okay, well maybe that is a bit of a spoiler, but Daredevil shows up in the end of one of the trailers, and I know what you said about you enjoying lore shows. I do too. I think you used Castle as an example. I mean, Suits is a bit more lighthearted, but that's a great show. And Daredevil as a superhero show, and also a lore show was exceptional. Daredevil is one of my favorite characters in the Marvel universe.
Are you concerned about them like Disneyfying Daredevil?
Absolutely, I'm concerned about that. However, they've said that it's going to be a mature audiences show. I can't remember what they use, what their American term for it is, but what's that? Sorry.
Are they going to put it on like the Star, like Disney?
Yeah, no, I think it's still going to be Marvel, but they're going to have a separate section for mature audiences. So it's going to be a 15 or an 18 or whatever it was when it released on Netflix. But that's like, even though they're going to add a more comedic element to Daredevil in the She-Hulk show, because he's getting his own show, Daredevil Born Again, which is going to be fantastic, and that's going to be really dark and gritty. Punisher is going to be in it. Luke Cage and Jessica Jones also, all confirmed. Mackers, you've missed out on so much. Yeah, okay, so that show is confirmed, but he's cropping up in not only Echo, but this one as well. So yeah, they will add more of a comedic side to him. I hope they don't butcher his character, because that would be the worst. But I just think
done that a little bit with Wilson Fisk, haven't they?
A little bit, but I think they handled that okay.
They can still recover that.
The thing is, in Hawkeye, the show you're referring to with Fisk he was still very imposing. They just, some of the tonal shifts around him made his character have a bit more of a comedic effect. But you're right, they can recover that, and they didn't butcher his character. That's the important thing. And I think they just need to handle Daredevil similarly. I think he can cameo in this show, and he can maybe have a couple funny moments, because Daredevil is a funny show at times. But as long as they don't butcher his character or like turn him into some.
I don't think he's not. Let that happen.
Well, maybe not, but I mean, we've already seen Hulk making margaritas, so like there's potential for it to go wrong, but I hope it doesn't. And besides Daredevil, the amount of cameos that are reportedly going to be in this show is crazy. Tom, I know you don't know very much about it, but the theme of the show is going to be basically a different cameo each episode, and that's what the trial is going to be around, effectively. We've seen in the trailers Abomination, Wong, Daredevil.
Abomination was in it, yeah.
Yeah, that was in the first show thing, but yeah, Abomination, Wong, and Daredevil are the main three that've been shown in the promo so far. So yeah, very much looking forward to that.
Who was the third one, sorry?
Daredevil, Wong, and Abomination.
Ah, sweet.
Yeah, they're like the main three.
Awesome.
But
I feel like this is a good moment to also just let you guys know that I have been busy whilst I was away, and we have actually officially released Gradient Show clothing for you guys to wear, and we spent some time choosing designs for it. I did some editing, and yeah, if you go to the link near the top of the description, I think it's still the LinkMe one, which also would be great if you did that. But yeah, if you go to the clothing line in Teespring, sorry, my dog just jumped up or something, and check it out. We would really appreciate that. We got hoodies, we got t-shirts, and we got a really basic one for if you want to keep it basic, but we got quite a cool design on the back of the other one. So yeah, you guys enjoy that. I'm back on with
disappointingly, it's not just a photo of Ben and mine's faces on the front, but the designs are still very good nonetheless, and I will definitely be getting one myself.
So will I, when I have money.
When you have money, yeah. But I think, Ben, now you've had time to mull over the complete mess that is the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
It's not
Twitter cancelling everything. What do you have anything for the show that you're like? Actually, that's good.
It's not. I mean, like I say, it's not real. I'm not saying that it's a complete mess. I'm just saying that it's just average compared to what it used to be. That's all. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, no.
Do you like the Hulk v Hulk fight?
Yeah, I mean, it was cool, but it's just like it's just there, isn't it? Like I don't know, like it's just like
has your perception of how things should be maybe been peaked too high, possibly?
No, I mean, obviously, Endgame and stuff like that was good, but I just think it's just the natural progression of things is inevitably after you've done a set of films like that and put out a film like that. This is inevitably what happens. There'll be a slight dip, and that's not to say that it'll recover, but like that's just that. I mean, like I said, it's just it's just like I say. I'm not saying that it's a mess. I'm just saying it's average. like compared to what it used to be, and that's it really.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
like,
fair enough, mate. So
yeah,
yeah,
like,
She-Hulk's
and I
just
think
another average show on
yeah,
the end of a long line of average shows in Phase 4.
what it spawns from is probably I don't have as much of an interest in it as you guys. That's where the main point of where it spawns from is that I'm a lot more interested in like Star Wars stuff, like Andor. That's the thing I'm looking forward to.
Coming soon.
Yeah, these sort of shows I'm not that fussed about that, but that is the main sort of where it comes from, I think.
And that's why it's great having you on the show, because it means that me and Tom are more grounded.
You balance out both of us, yeah.
Yeah, but like, I mean, even like the Lord of the Rings show, I'm not really that fussed about. For some, like,
I'm very excited for that.
I mean, I will watch it just to see what it's like, but like, I just don't like. I don't have that sort of.
Do you know what though? I imagine that would be of more interest to you than She-Hulk.
Yeah. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But yeah,
that's the type of show that it'll come in with a fairly limited fan base and finish with a Game of Thrones type fan base. It will be a great show, I'd imagine. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we will be doing shows on that, obviously, won't we?
We will be. Yeah. In the coming weeks, Mackers, do you want to tell them what we've got planned?
So, well, coming months, really, because I mean, like, we got the next 8 episodes of She-Hulk. We may have someone coming in who's also a big Marvel fan for that, and he also may be coming in for Andor, obviously whilst I'm away, which would be great. We are looking for someone for the Lord of the Rings show, so if anyone's watching this and is a big fan, obviously do reach out to us, leave a comment or whatever. Obviously, we have our socials, which are also linked down below. But yeah, we got She-Hulk, Andor, Lord of the Rings, Black Adam's coming out whilst I'm away. And tomorrow, actually, tomorrow we may have a podcast coming out. May come out the day after, but may come out tomorrow, where we are going to be talking to me about my time in America. So you got that to look forward to as well.
Yeah, I think that covers everything. Thank you very much, Mackers, and thank you, Ben, for your, as ever, entirely optimistic opinions on Marvel shows. Because
you should know I'm a pessimistic City fan. So like,
yeah, honestly, yeah. If you're putting Man U to finish 4th, then yeah, it's not.
No, I mean, I'm still like, if they get a few of the signings as supposed to, then
well, Casemiro signed, but this is not finished.
They need
I was going to say, let's save that for the Blue podcast. There's content in there. Yeah,
need to get sort it out in the next couple of weeks if they are to do that.
But anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you got this far, please make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you're new. We have made 8 subscribers in 4 months. So yeah, any opportunity to boost that, you can be the platform for us to reach 10K inside the next week, which is just a small step, but we believe we're ready.
10K.
10K, I said. Yeah, I didn't stutter.
Wow.
Maybe it's just too much pessimism from me. You know.
We've been dropping hints, man. We want you out.
I'll leave.
All right, but anyway, yeah. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you soon. Cheers.